What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazique, aka Unique Mazique, and it's my pleasure to be here talking to former UFC welterweight champion, my opinion, one of the greatest welterweight champions of all time, Tyron Woodley. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, my man. How you doing, brother?
I am doing fantastic, man. So I know I caught you in transition a little bit here, so I got some. I'm gonna try to do it like rapid fire style, so that we could make sure that you know what I'm saying. We in respect of your time. So today, UFC 307
For sure.
weigh-ins, and so I want to ask you about that. But before I get into that, I want to ask you like what you up to, man. Like I've been seeing you training a little bit on social media. You working on something?
Yeah,
What's
I'm working on a comeback. Not that I ever left, but a lot of people thought I retired from fighting, and I just let people know what they know because everybody know everything. But I needed some time to be normal. 2022, after I fought those two fights against Jake, I just really took the next year to just travel, go to concerts. Went to like a lot of R&B concerts. Went to Hawaii a lot, and I just took myself off the grid. It was from the age of 10 all the way to 40 with no breaks, straight through, 30 years straight through. So that was my first break in my athletic career ever. 2023 was a lot of cap. A lot of people said they want to fight. Floyd wanted to fight. Manny wanted to fight. KSI wanted to fight. But one was down to a contract. None of them happened and went through. So I took that time to really develop a business in the Middle East called the Realist International Promotion. Acronym is TRIP, right? So
that?
I developed that business promotional company promoting all things art, not just mixed martial, but all things art. So I'm excited about that, and things happen the way they're supposed to. So a lot of my time over the last couple of years has been dedicated to that, and now I kind of got everything in position. Now I can focus on getting this body back in shape and getting ready to do more destruction.
Yeah, got you. So, are you looking at? Is this MMA? Is it boxing? Is it what are we looking at?
MMA.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah. I'm
all
not.
right.
I'm not done with the boxing thing either because it's fun. It's easier on the body to train. It's less
Mhm.
martial arts you have to do together. But I'm prepared for a big MMA fight. Um, I can't give out a lot of it, but I'm working on something right now.
Okay, all right, all
Yeah.
right, all right. So, I'm feeling that's exciting, man. You know what I'm saying to see you get back in there. So I guess we don't know if can we say if it's UFC, if it is it
Um, I can't say anything yet, but
okay.
it
I
was
got you.
nice to see. It was nice to see Jose Aldo back. Not a
Yeah,
lot of
oh
times
yeah,
you see.
oh yeah,
Not a lot
oh
of
yeah.
times you see a lot of guys leave and then come back. So it was good to see Jose get back.
Yeah, man, and Span, he made weight today, all of that, and he didn't look sick on the scales, none of that.
Did
He
he go
looked
featherweight or what weight the class he
he
go?
went he banned him 135.
Bantamweight?
Yeah.
Oh
he,
shit!
he made it. He
He
made
went
it.
vegan.
Yeah, he went something. He went
Yeah,
nothing but air.
he went no food.
Right.
The no
Right.
food diet. Shit.
No food diet.
I can't
But
even see myself going 70 going back, man. That's hard.
yeah, honestly, because that's some of what I was gonna ask you. Like, so today was the weigh-ins. All of them, everybody made weight, right? But I wanted to ask you because you always were a very muscular built guy, even though
Yeah,
maybe some people might say shorter for a welterweight, but the mass. So, what
yeah.
was like the toughest weight cut that you can remember that you had trying to get to
Ooh.
170?
Wonder Boy 1, Nightmare. Um, Roy McDonald, Vancouver, Nightmare. That was 2014. Really, my last five weight cuts. It was to the point where my coach was like basically pushing my knees down on the bike, massaging, putting blankets on me, like because I never did ice bath. Like by the time I got to the top of the division, is when everybody started doing the Epsom salt hot baths. I couldn't incorporate a new technique at that time. There was too
Mhm.
much at stake. So I was running, I was diving, I was sweating, I was wrestling, I was grappling, I was doing everything the old school way of cutting weight. So my body was wearing it all. So I didn't tell a lot of people because I don't make a lot of excuses, but I was walking in sometimes 196
Mhm.
that week and cutting all the way down to 170, right?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was a lot on my body, beat me up bad. And I feel like when I got out and I was making 192 for the Jake fight, oh, that was heaven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's
Yeah.
funny you mentioned that Roy fight because I think I told you this last time I talked to you. Like, my whole household, man, we were T Wood fans. That's just how it is. So
Appreciate
we
it.
were like, we hate it. Like I always say, don't back up. Don't back up. Don't
I
back up.
did too much that fight camp, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like I was expecting to beat him because the UFC told me if I beat him, then we were going to fight for a world title. When I say we, I don't know why fighters always say we. I'm the one in
Right.
there fighting. When we say we look. It's like giving credit to your camp that you're including them in your decisions, but you're the motherfucker really in there
Yeah.
fighting. Let's be
Yeah.
real. So I was doing all embedded stuff. Rory wouldn't do anything, no countdown. He shut the door in their face. He wouldn't give them any access. Dana and Lorenzo told me if I go to Vancouver and fight this fucking world beater, because on paper, Roy was my toughest matchup in the
Yeah.
division.
Yeah.
Maybe still to date, the
Yeah.
toughest just because he was long, he had good timing, he had good patience, he had durability. He was a monster when he from the top position with creating space and raining down. He had good takedowns, he had good defense. He was just a complete fighter. And
Yeah.
I was a fan of his style. And to fight him for a number one contendership fight. All right, if I'm gonna be the champion, I got to beat these type of people anyway. So I went there to do that. The week of the fight, they told me that, oh no, the winner Robbie and Matt Brown gonna fight. So it's just I acted like I was gonna go out there and handle business as normal, like it didn't affect me, but it did.
Yeah.
I was focusing so much on sponsorships and getting ready for that fight because I was projected to potentially win and go on. I mean, it was a pretty even fucking fight
Yeah.
on paper, but I think I just was drained. I don't even remember a lot of the fight. It was like a bad dream. I'm like, why am I backing up? Why am I backing up? And I was still doing it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that fight was just a blur to me. But even if I fought Rory at my best, 'cause I had good moments in that fight. I heard him with some shit, and but he was waiting on the line that he saw on film to come out.
Yeah.
And then when that line didn't come out, then he just kept me on the end and tried to pick me with point fighting shots. So even if I would have fought him 100%, it still would have been a fight. You saw him fight
Yeah.
Robbie. You saw him fought, some of these other guys. It still would have been a tough fight if I
Yeah.
would have been at 100. So
Styles make fights, and that was
for
gonna
sure,
always be a tough stylistic matchup.
always for me, still today.
Yep. So all right, so about 307. So we got the main event, we got Hader taking on Khalil Roundtree.
Uh-huh.
We got Juliana Pena against the champion Raquel Pennington. We also got Jose Aldo on there. We got Kayla Harrison against Ketlin Vieira. So I
Yeah.
wanted to get your prediction for that main event for Hader and Roundtree.
Roundtree nasty, man. He nasty. His striking crazy. I was in Thailand sometime when he was there. We didn't ever really connect. I don't know if we've ever even met face to face, but we
Mhm.
had some mutual friends, and I've always
Mhm.
had a lot of respect for him. But for hitters, he a beast. He is a huge middleweight.
Yeah.
Like me thinking if I fought in the UFC, like fighting at welterweight, that wouldn't be that special. I mean, I can make it if I needed to. But that dude, man, no, he looked like a 205er all day.
Yeah.
His striking is mean. His striking is right up there. And I forgot the little brother that maybe it was his last fight. He got kicked in the cup. He told the dude get out the way,
Yeah. Yeah.
finish our business. Yeah,
Jamal Hill hit a kick in
yeah,
the cup.
that guy has great striking too. I think Khalil has better striking.
Mm.
So maybe this is a challenge we would like to see. So I don't know who's going to win, but both of those guys are monsters for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. How much? I want to ask you. It's this one particular thing that I noticed. Like, so Joaquin Buckley. I don't know how familiar you are with Joaquin
I mean,
Buckley.
he's from my city. He used to train in
Right.
my gym. He's from St.
Yeah.
Louis. Yeah.
I know that, but I didn't. I don't assume everybody that
Nah,
from the
he used
same
to be
city.
in my gym while I was doing my training camp, training with other people, salivating to get in there and show that he can keep up with me. And he definitely was looking at me like he thought he can get with me, but we never really trained. But he
Yeah.
used to be in my gym. He was a younger guy back then, but
Yeah.
he definitely's put on for the city. He's fighting against Wonder Boy, right?
Yes.
Um, I hope he did his homework because a lot of people get in there with Wonder Boy and they think it's sweet until the end. He was the quickest. I don't know if he's now. He was the quickest. I was the fastest and most explosive at that time. He was the
Yeah.
quickest. It was
Yeah.
techniques I saw coming, knew was coming, trained for him coming. He still step offside, kicked me in my neck.
Yeah.
And I saw it coming the whole time. So you've seen guys like Luque, Vicente fight him. It don't really matter. You've seen what's the trailblazer? Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
Like the striking is great, but this dude is accuracy and his accuracy is bar none, some of the best ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you though. There was some beef though. Joaquin had with Daniel Cormier. and it was because Joaquin he said something about somebody. He said one of the cats. He was like, "Your mama's raised some hoes." And your mama's raised, he started, and I know you know Daniel,
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing you can't really say to him, right? And he gonna
I
get
mean,
some type
Daniel
of way.
family is about that life. His brothers and his other people that I've been around. But Daniel is, I mean, Daniel's who you see on TV. He's not finna do nothing. He'll talk it, but Daniel is a professional, and that's what the way he likes to keep it. And Joaquin is too. I think Joaquin is he's a big fan of Daniel, and he has a weird way of trying to like let you know he a fan and like joking.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
Daniel may have said something about him that probably hurt his feelings. Like us fighters got to be real. Like when people that you look up to, like Mike Tyson was rooting for Jake Paul. I'm like, how the fuck you gonna root for Jake Paul? I watched
Yeah,
every one of your fights,
right,
like to keep me on the treadmill. I'm black. Like
right,
all these different. I'm built kind of like you were for the heavyweight division. Like I would. There's like a like he Mike Tyson don't recognize what type of fan I was of his, like
yeah,
crazy fan. So, but I can't get mad because he decided to do whatever, pick whoever he thought was gonna win. And the same thing with Buckley. Like it's been times I've been in the cage and I heard um, Daniel Cormier be like, "Oh, Tyron Woodley, be able to save something in the tank. You know what I mean? Don't want to exert his energy." You're basically alluding to the stereotype of African American men that are built with muscle composition, don't have good cardio or skill set, and you
mhm,
black. So that's
mhm.
stupid. So when I heard him say that I was fighting Darren Till, I looked over at him. I gave him the ugly look, and I just started punching Darren harder and faster and more elbows and more damage because you kind of got me fucked up. So when people are in a situation where they basically got you messed up, sometimes you gotta let them know, and it's okay to let people know here and there.
Yeah, yeah, okay, I hear you. Yeah, I kind of I took it like, when as I was watching, I was wondering, I was like, is Daniel feeling like this young guy is disrespecting him and not giving him any, props as like an elder, a guy who's accomplished so much, won 2 championships in the UFC, and you know what I mean? Because the basic thing came from Joaquin Buckley beat Vicente Luque, and then he called out Conor McGregor. People criticized him, said that was a stupid call out. You wasted
Well,
your mic time because you wasn't gonna get that
well,
fight.
Joaquin Buckley, like I've tried to talk to him a couple times. I was trying to mentor him on how to like don't be so associated with me. I know you're from the city, but like that ain't gonna always get you moved ahead. Shit, not in this day and age, you know what I mean? Because I was a champion the way I wanted to be the champion, unapologetically. So, with that said, I was trying to help him on what to do during those times and how to promote himself and how to get people behind him. He'll listen while he's listening, but he don't really listen. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to recognize he was a strong kid, lifting weights, training, and he was just training with a bunch of buddies for a long time. He was like a gym thought. He was bouncing around so many gyms in St. Louis. He never had a home. I don't know if
Hmm.
he has a home right now, but he just kind of like not a bucket lister, but he got to the point where he said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna try this stuff. I'm gonna try it." It worked. So he made it a long way on that. Now it's like now it's to the point where people want to see him be more refined, and he not there yet. And they got to understand that you can't make somebody be somewhere they not. And he got to understand that people are always gonna have something to say. Don't get too. The best gift that you can have is not take shit personal.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what you're saying is like he may be a little bit more sensitive than it appears.
Too much sensitive.
Yeah. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. So my last question, because I know you gotta go. Um, I think you're a key figure in this. What I'm about to say. I feel like, and I just spoke to Johnny Evelyn yesterday, and I said,
Johnny,
yeah, I said the same thing to him, right?
he helped me in a couple title fights. My dog.
Yeah, so I told him, I said, I think that wrestlers are getting a really bad rap right now, and they're being put on a steeper uphill climb, right? Because you hear all this verbiage about, hey, we don't want this guy with this wrestle heavy style. We don't want to see this guy win the championship because he's going
Go
to
watch
dominate.
go watch boxing and kickboxing then. It's
Th-
called
th-
mixed martial arts. You got to
yeah.
respect each martial art that's involved. And I feel like wrestlers are the one that built this sport. Ultimate
Hmm.
Fighter 1 was mostly wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
Rashad Evans and Mike Whitehead and all these different people. These are wrestlers. Gray Maynard, these are wrestlers. Even the grappling background components has a lot of wrestling. Jiu-jitsu is the shoulders that the sport was built on, right?
Mm-hmm.
If somebody knocks somebody out and you want to see blood and no defense and you win and I'm winning back and forth teeter-totter and war, then just say you want to see that personally, but don't hate on art that you can't stop, right?
Yeah, right.
Take it out the sport then.
I asked you that question because one of the first times I remember hearing this come real hard was when you beat Damien Maia. I
Yeah,
heard all of the criticism about the way you did it, and I was like, man,
that was one of my best fights.
this dude is the maybe the greatest pure Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner in the sport. This is what he had to do to win, but I
It's
felt
not even
like
that. It's like I can't be
excitement.
swinging above his head and he's underneath trying to take my legs and take my back and go for a submission. His only way to win the fight is submission. Why would I put him in a position to win the only way he can win? I
Right.
was trying to strike with him, and also I tore my labrum in the first punch when I threw the uppercut. My whole right shoulder ripped.
Mm-hmm.
So I was defending shots, not even with a healthy shoulder. So it's even more remarkable that the dude that took down 12 people in a row, right? He took down 12 people in a row, 12 fights in a row, sorry, won 7 fights in a row by submission, that he couldn't get one takedown out of 23, right? That shit crazy to me. So
Yeah.
when I was able to do that, you know what I mean, and not get, you know what I mean, I'm pretty sure Carlos Condit, which he can turn back the hands of time. I'm pretty sure that Jorge Masvidal, I'm pretty sure that all those guys that Damien Maia beat, right, wish they would have not been so overzealous and really swinging too crazy and let them get up underneath them. So, no, I don't. People just my career is not the career you're going to celebrate while it was happening. Mine is one where you look back over time and you see what I did and how I did it, right? Fingers. That's going to be the credibility that I gained. You know what I mean? And I never really got into the sport to be famous. I got into the sport to be the best in the world, and I feel like I did that. I was trying to show that I was, you know what I mean, the best that ever did it, and I never got a chance to fight George St. Pierre. He's the best that ever did it. So somebody beat him and prove differently. And not Kamaru. Um, Kamaru, to be honest, I still put GSP, and then I put Matt Hughes. Then I put me. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
he a tie for me because I never rematched him.
Yeah.
He rematched Colby. He rematched Masvidal. They told me I had to walk on water to get a rematch. Verbatim, not making those words up. I'll have to beat 7 people up in a way, but it was almost attempted murder. And almost I had to walk on water for me to ever get a rematch. So um, it was not in the cards for me even to fight. Even after I lost to Usman, you know what I mean? Each fight, there was no chance I was going to win that fight and get to a rematch. It
Mm-hmm.
was all the people I was fighting. If they beat me, then they get a title shot. So I was pretty much somebody else's opportunity to try to like advance their career. And that's
They force you to be a gatekeeper.
no, I mean you can't never force me to be a gatekeeper because I'm just not that guy. I just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't into it. My mind wasn't wrapped into it. I had a lot of seeds and shit I planted in the ground that had to, man, they had to grow.
Yeah.
I was living a rock star life. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I was a terrible husband. You know what I mean? I was a great dad. I was a great fighter. I trained my butt off. I never came underprepared. But things I was doing in life at that time caught up with me. And that whole season of them lessons I learned, I had to take it with a grain of salt. But I also had a season of abundance, and that came from what I did prior to it: hard working, going to church, praying, reading, focusing. You know what I mean? Not being distracted, and lesson learned.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I really appreciate that. Appreciate the candor, all of it. This is stuff that a lot of people don't know. They speak about, but they don't necessarily know the things that are surrounding what they watch in the octagon and what they see on social media. So
And
it's always good to get perspective from people who are actually inside.
yeah, man, I give it freely. I got some things that I'm saving for memoirs and books and deeper stories, but on the surface, people need to understand what's really going on because you guys got to recognize you are always watching end product, right?
Yes.
You guys are always watching end product. So as you're watching end product, don't forget about what's underneath that water that made that iceberg come up the Titanic.
Hmm.
It didn't grow on top of the water. something
Right.
had to develop and stay cold enough for long enough to come out of that water. And that's what I am. That's what most champions are. And very few people get there by luck, and very few people get there, you know what I mean, without hard work.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate your time for sure, man.
I love my man.
Yeah, yeah, man. I like I said to you before, I look forward to hopefully getting an opportunity to talk to you again, maybe even regularly, as we can kind of chime in on this stuff.
Heck
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, your perspective is extremely valuable.
Well, I appreciate you, my man. You have a blessed day.
You too, bro.
All right, bye.